Okay, so we're live. My name is Brian. This is a continuation of my playthrough on AKUMU mode, which is the highest difficulty setting on this game. This is part 15. As I always say, the parts have nothing to do with what chapter I'm on. If it did, then we'd be on the last chapter. Unfortunately, we're still on chapter 1. No, that would be terrible. We'll be starting off chapter 11 now. 29 hours. Yeah, I'm not really concerned about time. I let a lot of time pass during these broadcasts, especially if anybody's going to chat. I'll kind of, sometimes just have Sebastian walk in a circle. I don't know. I'll just sit in the save room. Sometimes I'll just sit here and talk to myself. But as you can see, this is on AKUMU difficulty. I'm not playing on a New Game Plus, otherwise there would be a clear sign. So I started this game off fresh, coming in here with no previous upgrades, no rocket launcher, nothing like that. Now, I always say that, but I guess right now I kind of want to emphasize it a little more, because at this point, for anybody who even comes in here who's new, it might be kind of surprising to believe some of the upgrades I already have. Well, this is chapter 11, but I spend a lot of time, and this is in order to maximize not only the chances of beating it on this mode, really, but to make it a hell of a lot easier. From my own experience, I feel that as far as I've never tried this without upgrading, and when I think of certain circumstances, ones that lie ahead and some behind, it's hard for me to imagine how I would get through it without an upgrade or two. And I say this now because, okay, I'm going to load this. There's a point early on in this chapter where it's just one little, seemingly little thing. And when I get there, I'll point it out. Where having my explosive bolt at the level it's at really makes the situation a lot easier. And if I didn't have my bolt at that level, or the level it's at 4, it could probably be at 3. It's hard for me to tell. And I'll just kind of, when I get there, go over it, but so I've been collecting every key except for one. In order to open up all the lockers, you can not collect one, and the one I didn't collect was just on the previous chapter. In order to get it, you would have to defeat Laura, and that would probably deplete me of all my ammo and resources, not to mention the fact that there's bear traps lying around on this mode, and it would have just been extremely frustrating. And for a key, that's not necessary, as long as I'm collecting all of the other keys. I don't need it to open up the lockers, all of the lockers. Now, I emphasize the lockers a lot because I have a lot of things upgraded at this point, and one of the reasons is because of opening those lockers. And when I get to a save room, I can kind of display it. I pretty much usually say, for every closed door you see for the lockers I've opened, it's pretty much a representation of a jar of green gel. Which the lowest amount you'll get from a locker is 5,000. The reason that I open up all the lockers is because of not only the massive amounts of green gel, but because of the extra ammo. And the last locker you open will give you 100,000 green gel to spend, before the whole gauntlet section in chapter 15. And I guess I suppose emphasizing the upgrades is important because what I was getting at, from my own experience, and maybe I don't know if anybody else has this, I felt, and this is my second playthrough. Through my first playthrough, you know, going into it, not knowing what to expect. I guess I should just look over here.
How can that be?
I don't know, I just didn't want to see the X on the screen, but earlier on, especially, okay, you're in chapter 2 for instance, and you practically have no upgrades, and you know there's a pretty long checkpoint. I kind of feel earlier on, and this really peaks in chapter 5 and 6, especially when you're having to protect Joseph, that, well, in that case, it's not just about upgrades. Some of those situations, to me, that was the peak of what could be called frustrating on my end, or challenging, you know, depending on how one's viewing it. And I don't know, it just feels like earlier on, going through that, it's easy to kind of think, well, I mean, if it's gonna be like this, you know, it's easy to think like, well, how many chapters are ahead of this? And already having played through it once on survival, kind of having an expectation, you know, you're gonna face certain bosses and certain things that, you know, there's just kind of a feeling like this is just gonna be, you know, pretty impossible. I mean, God, I just, you know, especially, you know, it's hard because, like, you know, I came into it on my first playthrough, and I didn't expect certain situations to be as frustrating or as challenging as they would be, because I really wasn't thinking about some of the changes on this mode. I was, you know, what was primarily in my mind was the whole one-hit kill factor. And it's really not about that. That's not really what makes this... I mean, that is an important feature, but really, like, a lot of the enemies are twice as fast. There's a lot more of them. And there's even sometimes enemies appearing that you wouldn't even see later on, that appear earlier on in the game. And starting off and seeing a Rubik clone on Chapter 3 in the middle of the village is kind of intimidating. Especially at that point with having hardly any upgrades or anything. So I've spent a lot of time collecting everything and, you know, opening up all the lockers. And it's just from my experience that as the game moves on, all of the upgrades and all of the collecting and everything just seems to make the situation, ironically, a little bit easier than it is earlier on in the game playing on this mode. My first playthrough on this was on survival, and for me, when I hit chapter 10, that's when it started becoming the most challenging to me. So when I went into my AKUMU mode playthrough, and I'm gonna shoot a statue because I am collecting the keys, and there's a statue on this carousel. Actually, I don't have to shoot it. The thing is, you know, I'm going into my AKUMU mode playthrough like, well, okay, chapter 10, you know, thinking, okay, that's where it's gonna get kind of frustrating. Really, my experience was earlier on was where a lot of, and I'm not saying I haven't had frustrations in specific places later on, which I did, and I do still have, but I think it's easy earlier on, especially when you're protecting Joseph, to just get entirely discouraged and throw the controller down and just kind of just give up. And not even be thinking that, you know, potentially you could be in one of the most challenging situations that in this whole playthrough, which, if I had to pick a chapter, would be chapter 6. And it just seems like, you know, you progress, you keep upgrading and whatnot, and it's not, the upgrades, I usually use the word mitigate, but or maybe that's not the right word. sort of neutralize. They don't even do that. It's sort of better than that. It makes things a lot easier later on, which is why for me, I mean, I always emphasize I'm not an expert, so to anybody who's done this without any upgrades, I mean, that's incredibly awesome, because I can't, I'm even thinking of a situation coming up ahead where if I didn't have my explosive bolt upgraded, I don't really know how I'd get through it. I'd probably figure it out after dying a number of times, and I'm a little confused here. Oh, that's right, the statue's on top of one of the horses. Oh, there it is. I don't have the accuracy on this thing, but okay, well, that's just me being a pro. I have to sit here and wait for the key to come around. This chapter is pretty challenging. Really beginning on chapter 10, when the trauma come out, and then you have that, you're faced with Laura, faced with the garage boss, and you get into this chapter, it can sort of feel like a non-stop thing, and that's what I felt when I was playing on survival. But I don't think I've, even on my first playthrough, I just never thought to myself, the only point that I ever really thought to myself that I really was just gonna quit and not continue with the playthrough was on chapter 6. Even though I encountered, you know, my situation with Laura, for instance, on the first playthrough in chapter 10, you know, I died a lot of times, but I don't think I hit a point where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna quit. Like, the only time that happened was really in those 2 rooms on chapter 6. And really, that chapter, in and of itself, for me, on this mode, was the most difficult to get by. And now, maybe, again, if I wasn't upgrading as I am, yeah, I could think of situations ahead that would be equally as challenging, perhaps. I don't know. For me, I guess the point is, it's just, I feel like, I don't know, maybe a lot of people can get really discouraged earlier on playing on this. And it's just easy to think, I don't know, for me, again, my own experience, me thinking ahead like, wait a minute, you know, I'm in 2 rooms with Joseph, and there's just normal haunted running around, and I've died about 70 or 80 times. How challenging is it going to be? What about the chapter 10 boss? What about all of these? And I kept thinking to myself of bosses and situations like that, and I don't know, the reality just seems to be, I mean, I just passed the chapter 10 boss just before this, and the situation in and of itself with the chapter 10 boss doesn't seem to be any dramatically different from what it is in other modes. I mean, he could be faster and take more damage, but as far as the way he moves and what goes on in the garage and everything, it's much more similar than it is than in any situation in this game. Whenever you're cramped on this mode in rooms with and again, there's extra enemies with any of the haunted characters who are twice as fast, it tends to be a bit more potentially frustrating because they're just, I mean, full speed ahead. Some of them are erratic, running after you, and when they're all over the place around you, to me, those are the most difficult situations generally on this mode, not the bosses themselves. And I guess it's just easy to think ahead and think of like situations, remembering the survival playthrough, that on this mode what they're going to be like. And really for me, it just came as a surprise, like how situations I didn't even think about were the ones that really became the ones that were more challenging. And again, if it was just about the one-hit kill, then probably my expectations would have been met about what situations would have been the most challenging. But You know, adding Ruvik clones earlier on, or the fact that there's extra enemies and they're twice as fast, and that they put extra traps in places which are very inconvenient at times, like when you're running away from lore and there's bear traps directly in your path. It's those things that really become the most challenging aspects about this mode. It's oh yeah, well, I should note that it's really important to come back here, at least the way that I'm seeing it now, because the Magnum is back here. This is where you first pick it up. Now I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to even use it in this chapter. The thing is, the Magnum is a really powerful gun, and basically I pretty much by chapter 4, I mean definitely, I would want by chapter 13 the damage to already be up to 4, as well as the fire rate. I mean I put basically everything at 4 except for reload, and I don't even know if for me what I'm doing. Putting the critical up, is that important? And that sounds like a lot. You know, it is. It's a lot of green gel, but again, collecting all the keys, and there's a lot of green gel in the lockers. There's a lot lying around. I've already upgraded things significantly to this point, and it might be kind of like weird, but I have spent a lot of time, like from the beginning, doing this, and that was part of the plan, to make the situations easier later on. And with the Magnum at a high enough level, I mean, the chapter 14 boss is gone in 5 seconds. Takes care of the 2 safe heads at the end of chapter 15. And, you know, maybe I could think of another situation. It might be useful if I can get it there by chapter 13. Maybe the safe head in the fridge. But really, I'm just picking out maybe 2 or 3 things, and that might sound insane. I'm going to upgrade my Magnum that high and spend that much green gel for a couple of instances, but those couple of instances can become a real pain unless they're dealt with, I guess, very quickly, the way that I see it from my own experience. Guess I'm not doing all too well with the talking here. But that's okay. I don't know. All of these videos are pretty raw, so I just kind of talk. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's not. I don't know. Of course, my voice never gets, I guess it's always pretty monotone. I don't know. I guess you don't have to worry about it. He's just gonna run away. So, coming up to this situation, in which case I'm going to point out why, or what could make this a lot worse than it could be. And I could be over dramatizing, and maybe that's just me. Again, I'm not an expert, but I'm looking at a particular, even just, it's one particular enemy with a machine gun that's going to be on top of some place, and I'm just thinking to myself, if I couldn't do what I'm gonna do and eliminate him out of the equation immediately, what I would do in the circumstance, and maybe it'll just become more apparent when I get there, but when I get there, if I get there. I should always preface that if and when, or and again, all of the checkpoints are the same. The thing is, some of it though feels like it's longer, and some of it has to do with the extra enemies and maybe having to take more time to do certain things. Okay. Well, I don't have high expectations for boxes. I smash all of them, and you know, definitely it's a good idea. There's things in them, there's parts, there's gel, but there's just less playing in this mode. So What am I doing? You know, I go off on these monologues and like, okay, well, there were two people in here. Could have been off-putting. I really wanted to make a point at the opening of this, though, because, you know, with respect to upgrades, I mean, it might be, you know, because when I'm doing certain things, and it might seem like, okay, well, you know, just pull out your rifle and do this if you're watching, but it's hard to know. Like my rifle, for instance, the damage level is at 3, so it makes a difference, and the fire rate's at level 4. So it'd be easy to think maybe, well, if I shot down somebody in 1 or 2 shots, that's going to be the case, you know, when somebody else plays, but it really depends on how high you've upgraded it, and I don't know what I should... Why am I thinking about this? Isn't even... This guy's gonna run out. So I might as well just casually walk around and pick up green gel. He's kind of standing there. I can understand too why this chapter and chapter 12 especially can start, maybe, I don't know if start, but can be a little off-putting, especially after coming out of chapter 10 when you're thinking of horror and survival, because it starts feeling like in certain situations it's more like combat and action oriented. You have Haunted with machine guns and things like that. It's sort of... Okay, just come out. Come on. Okay. What are you doing? Light that match. I figured I'd use a match. I mean, why not? There's matches here I can take. There's going to be a guy behind a gate around the corner. I'm going to take him out because you're going to have to go into that section. And even if I don't, I mean, I've seen him climb the gate to me, like, to get to me, so, God, I'm just not doing too good with the words, so take out that guy. I mean, you can even notice something glowing blue over there. Okay, those are the keys to get through a gate. If only Sebastian could climb a fence and just grab it, but... Well, he can't, and... The checkpoint doesn't occur until you get through all of this, and not even... I don't even think it's after you get through this, so, you still have to go a little ways. What I'm gonna do is jump over this fence. I'm gonna jump while I'm crouched, because I'll go back into crouching position. And I'm going to turn this way. Stealth kill. Stealth kill whenever I can. I'm probably going to alert enemies by doing this, but... There's a guy over there. Now, one thing I can do is to get rid of him, and I can try this, is run over here, light this body on fire, and light him on fire at the same time. The problem is I could have alerted other enemies in the process by doing that, but one match just disposed of an enemy, and yes, I have. Here comes... Now, my shotgun damage is at level 3. Now, I pretty much probably... Some enemies will go down and die. It's hard for me to tell, and that's another reason why early on I maxed out to level 5 how many matches I could carry. Because one match will kill anything. I'm not sure directly how many other... There should be 1 or 2 more enemies. I'm surprised I didn't alert them by what I did, but I did alert one of them. Yeah, I can hear them, but it'd be nice if I can stealth kill them, but I probably will get noticed. I mean, their awareness is also much greater. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, on this mode, and it's... I'm only putting that there because, I see a grenade here I can't carry anymore. I might as well use one. A bunch of enemies are going to barge out a door at one point. So... I don't know. I mean, if that's the only guy left, then... I should never think that. That's not a good way to go about. Well, there's only one guy left, and then... Typically there's like 2 or 3, and... Really, running away is even problematic. I mean, I have my sprint level at 4, and this is what I mean about the regular haunted characters. I mean, they can really run fast. I mean, I could be running full sprint, and I've had them directly on my back, and I feel like I can't even turn around and fire. And if they don't stop, I just wind up dead. All they have to do is kick me. I mean... Probably, you know what? I could be spotted pretty easily there. And I'm not good here, unless I get behind here. I'm kind of surprised that it seems like there's only one guy here. Guy. Haunted. I don't want to alert his attention. I'm not going to sprint, but I'm going to walk a little faster. Okay, well... Well, you think it's all over? I don't know. You know, I always say that. Why do I do... you know, I stomp on the bodies. Now, I know I can do it because there's no other enemies around here, and it's fine. I'm not going to alert them, but sometimes I feel like I'm going to squash green gel out of them. Like, if it didn't ooze out automatically. And I don't know. You know what? I'm probably wrong about that. And for anybody who's hearing me say that again, it kind of becomes a wonder why I haven't figured that out at this point. Well, there are a couple ways I can go about this. What's going to happen is, in order for anything to progress, you have to try to open that door, which is locked. That's the one you need the keys for. And about 3 enemies are going to barge out of this door. I could try to throw mine and then collect it afterward. Another thing is my stun bolts are at level 4. At this level, I can actually stealth kill 3 enemies. I have time to. They're about stunned for about, what, 13 seconds? I don't know. I mean, the mine's good if they're all together. To get them all together, I could stun them, but if I do that, I don't know. What I could do is open the door, climb the fence, or climb this ladder, and they probably will start climbing the fence. I don't think the mine's going to do much damage. I don't know, it might be better to just... Let's just do this. Alright, goes to the cutscene. kind of wish I could run somewhere and hide and stealth myself out of this, but it doesn't seem like I can, so I'm just going to throw a mine down here and see what this does, and... Well, I managed to do damage probably to some of them, maybe killed one of them. I can always pick up the mine. Okay, they're all going to get up. Great. Good times. I'm gonna try to just take him down with my handgun, because, now I'm lighting the match at his feet. I try to stay away far when I can, because if I was standing on top of him, there was more of a chance that he could just kind of spring, and not even spring up to his feet. Some of them will spring up to their feet. But if they just sit up a little bit and kind of tap you, it's over. So, I don't know. I figured I'd try the mine idea because I could pick it up, but obviously it did damage, but they all got up, so... So this is the part where what I mean by having upgrades makes a big difference, and it's only, you see, this is about one enemy right here. Now, if I had no upgrades, I have no idea how I would do this. What's going to happen, and this happens on any mode really, but because of the one-hit kill factor and the fact that they aim their guns, they aim whatever, and they have dead-on aim, this could be just a big problem, at least in my eyes. The keys are over here to pick up. The problem is the moment you pick up the keys, a guy comes through this door with a machine gun. Okay, that's fine. Well, it's not fine. Nothing's fine when a haunted has a machine gun in their hand. The problem is that there's another haunted that appears up here with a machine gun. And this is what I mean, how I don't know how I would do this without employing this little tactic here, which... This is what I did on Chapter 4, if anybody's played in that scenario where you're thrown into the bloodbath. Well, a Ruvik clone comes out one of the doors during that part, which makes things a lot worse considering there's a lot more enemies and they're faster. And at that point I already had my explosive bolts at level 3. I just plant one near the door. So the moment the cutscene ends and it goes to it, the Ruvik clone just disappears. Yeah, I mean, I thought about that. Like, that's what I would do if I didn't have upgrades, what I would be trying to do. For me, I'm not sure how I would go about it because he has a machine gun. Actually, I'm taking out this top guy first. This is the method I employ to get by this quickly and with losing as less ammo as possible. Put an explosive bolt about right here. When I pick up the keys, if all is well, and this bolt somehow doesn't glitch or disappear, this is at level 4 damage right now. Level 3 will probably do it. I'm pretty sure level 1 doesn't. I've played this on casual mode. And I put a bolt up here at level 1, and if it did explode, it didn't kill him. Hello. So I placed this bolt up here. Once I pick up the keys, another guy's gonna come out with a machine gun. I either hit him with a freeze bolt. I could use the harpoon bolt. This guy should just disappear up here. He's just gonna blow up. Which is kind of key to me because the problem is that even if I wanted to go snipe him, there's gonna be a bunch of other enemies that are gonna start climbing the fence after me, and I'm just gonna run away from them now. I wouldn't be able to run away if there was a guy with a machine gun up there. So hopefully that bolt stays there and doesn't disappear. And I'll know if I get killed right here, but you probably won't even see the machine guy up there. I mean, I don't know. He should be gone once the cutscene ends. I'm gonna have to deal with a guy coming through the door. And again, this all starts once you pick up the keys. All of these enemies are gonna come from this direction and start climbing the fence. I just worry about the machine gun guys, really, and pick up the keys. Someone, and I missed him, which is not good. Well. I'm not one to say I never make mistakes. I can't get an angle though, but on the other machine gun guy, I mean, it's pretty much, if he's not there because he exploded, but probably won't even be able to see it. You'll probably be wondering, am I just making things up? Does a guy with a machine gun really come up out there? I guess I would just showcase it to begin with, if I didn't have to go through all this in the first place. Like, see, this is the problem. You go back all the way here and... Yeah, I always try to run away when I light them on fire. I mean, they get up sometimes, and that's pretty much instant death. No sense in me dragging through. I'm taking out this guy. I've had him climb the fence before after me, if I don't do that. And even if he didn't, having the guy there where the keys are, I'd rather just dispose of him right away. Again, I'm just doing the same thing here and turning left after I get here. And this guy should be walking away. Now, this could alert enemies. It did alert an enemy before. But I'm going to run over here and light a match on the corpse, which should take care of him. And I did alert somebody, which... did I? Yeah, I did this last time, though, which... so the same thing's happening, and, well, and okay, I alerted both of them. I don't know, again, this is why I upgraded, like, my matches first off. I mean, I have 27 matches I'm carrying. I don't expect even the shotgun with level damage, like, damage at level 3 right now to kill anybody unless I hit them in the head, perhaps. Sometimes they die, sometimes they don't. I just light a lot of things on fire. I mean, one match just pretty much burns everybody. So I use some shotgun shells, but there's shotgun shells over here. I guess I try to be cognizant too of where ammo is and what I'm using, so I can kind of replenish myself. Which is why before I tried this, and maybe I'll just try it again, just because grenade-wise, I mean, my stock is full, and, you know, I could just pick up another one. Beforehand, I managed to somehow... all 3 of them got hit by the blast, but, none of them died, which goes to show you how powerful these grenades really are. Ah, that cutscene. I just want to climb the ladder. Of course, I don't have all the answers. There's other tactics. I mean, I could be using a stun grenade. I'm just throwing this here, and really, again, see, all three of them got hit by it. Now, again, if like last time, alright, they all get up. Okay. I'll just stand here casually. I don't even know why the mode in this, like, for even, like, the lowest level of difficulty is called casual. I just don't see what's casual about any of this, but, well, you know, I got two of them right there, and you know what, I'm just gonna try to... Probably not good. Always mind my surroundings and know that I just kind of climbed up something a little bit. It looked like a rock, or I don't know what I did. Again, for me, this is really just all about having a level of patience, because, yeah, okay, I'm sent back here, and it can be frustrating, and I can just sit here and punch boxes, and, but, what I try to do is just not, you know, go crazy. If I get frustrated and just think, okay, I don't want to do this all over again, I'm just going to start throwing explosive bolts all over the place and just blow all my ammo and just to get through it, because I already anticipate situations where I'm going to need a lot of it, and this, you know, it's not a good idea. At least, I don't want to lose all my ammo and stuff just from frustration, so... Are you going to come out? Okay, light the match. See, that could have been death right there. All he had to do was hit me with his hand. Not good. I'm just doing kind of the same thing I did before. I just messed up when the 3 enemies came out. I mean, typically every time I come over this fence and turn left, there's always a guy walking away, so that's always good because there's just a clean kill, no use of ammo, no matches, nothing. And then I just run over here and light this body on fire, which should light him on fire. In which case I may have alerted 1 or 2, I don't know. One time I only alerted 1 enemy, another time it was 2 of them, so it's not a big deal. There's some shotgun shells here, and you can just... I don't know if he's dead. He wasn't dead. I guess it's always safe to assume. Yeah, I know you see me. Oh wow, 2 jars of green gel. AKUMU mode. Really giving me some good stuff here now. Maybe it's because I keep dying. Maybe they have it programmed, like, kinda... It's kind of like the pity factor. You know, you die a certain number of times, like, okay, well here, we'll give you this extra. I don't know if they would have done that or not, but it's probably all random. I don't know what the point is of this, really. Why do I bother? I kind of wish the grenade would kill one of them. I mean, doesn't seem to be very powerful. At least on the normal haunted. I mean, on certain occasions it is, or on certain bosses or certain parts of bosses they could be, but I don't know, the best part about the grenade really for me is the fact that I believe it's the only weapon I can use while I'm crouched down. With the exception of a bottle, if that could be considered a weapon, it's more of a distraction, but why am I going over here? I have to start it up, open this door, try to open it. I just want to climb the ladder. Let's go to the cutscene. Am I on the ladder? I don't know why I bother doing this. They're all gonna get what? I should just go down here. Okay, he didn't go down. Alright, he went down. What? I don't know what that was. That was weird. He sort of went down for a moment. I am really wasting ammo now. God, it's not good. I don't know. Maybe if I run around. I kind of like them to be together. I don't know where they are. Alright, just climb over the fence. My stun is at level 4 right now, so if there were all 3 of them, I could probably get all 3 of them. It gives me about 13 seconds. Yes, of course, that's just me showing off. Like, yeah, I got level 4 stun bolts. I don't know, I only find use for them though, and I'm not very... I use the shock bolts a lot more. Well, I shouldn't say that. I can't really add up everything in my mind right now, but... So this is that part again where... Now I'm going to set the explosive at the see, the thing is, it's not going to even be noticeable if it works. Which it does, as long as the explosive bomb doesn't disappear or anything. The guy with the machine gun appears up here. But I pick up the keys, there's no view I can get, so if he's not here, it means the bomb blew him up and he exploded and he's gone. And for me, that's a huge headache, having him up there. So really, I'm just dealing with the guys with the machine guns and running away from the rest of the enemies. And if I didn't deal with the guy with the machine gun up there right now, it would make things a lot more difficult running out here, especially I can't get hit once, and there'd be a lot of enemies behind me. So I'm going to try this again. Last time I failed to hit the guy coming through the door. Yeah, I can't get a good view of up there. He should be gone though. If he's not, then I'll be kind of upset. Now, I don't know if you heard something, it sounded like it exploded, and oh, he's there still, that's not good. Well, I don't feel safe. I don't know why he's still there. This did not work out well. I don't know. Another one of these situations I didn't anticipate really being on long, but I don't know why he's still up there. And I'm not going to do anything different because I've done this before and he's disappeared. So I don't know why. I don't know. I kind of go into a dead zone in my mind. If you go through a situation like over and over, I don't know what to even add to the situation anymore, so... So just doing the same thing in order to get to that point again. No. Probably the 20th example of me not wanting to light a match, but I usually put my weapon away with circle, and if I'm above body, it's just gonna light a match, so it's kind of a waste, but I'm kind of used to it. I've just... Yeah, well, another good I almost got killed right there. I wasn't even... I kind of heard him behind me, but just... Oh my god. Well, sometimes I alert both of them, sometimes I only alert one of them, so one of them is still over there. Might as well just try to take him out in a stealthy way. I'm really not in good cover, but I don't know. See, again, it was just me in my head thinking there, like, okay, look, I'm just gonna run down here and just... It's kind of an example of, like, I can feel like, you know, a certain level of frustration and just letting it kind of guide me and, you know, kind of just blowing ammo when I don't have to. I mean... I'm not going to do the grenade thing again, because it just didn't seem to really do much of anything to these guys. So I'm just gonna try to see if, I don't know, after they all climb over the fence, maybe they'll all be together and I'll just stun them all, because, I don't know, the mine doesn't really, or the grenade. I always say the mine. I don't know why I keep thinking they're mines. No, they're not all together. I don't know. Oh, well, that's not good. Man, I kind of screwed this up. Well, he's climbing the fence, and... See, that guy is still stunned right now. It's been... That's what I mean, like level 4. I mean, I just had all that time, and he's still sitting there. Well, that's a decent... All three of them just give me green gel? It's pretty good. Well, if this doesn't work this time, I've had it not work before, and I can never tell when I put it up here whether or not sometimes it disappears, sometimes or it doesn't. I put it up here. I don't know. I really hope this works this time because I'm just making sure I could see it there. It could be too. I mean, I might have to alter the position of it, but because I don't know really where he appears from, if he climbs up the side or he... I don't know, I just hope this works, you know, because now... I missed him again. And the machine guy is standing up there again, so... I don't know what's going on. I usually can blow him up. I mean, you know, obviously the last resort is to kind of like snipe him out of there, but I'm also aware that there are a bunch of enemies behind me. I just don't want to... I've had this work, like, a lot of times. I just don't know why this isn't working now. It's probably because I'm live broadcasting and just want me to... No, that has nothing to do with... Well, if it doesn't work this time, I'm gonna make sure my sniper is in my left side because, and see if I could just snipe him really quickly, because I have no idea why this... It doesn't even seem like the bolt is there to me. I mean, it's not exploding or... I noticed the guy on the top was a little off to the left, so... Maybe I should place it somewhere else? Oh my god, why isn't this working? Alright, that was a bad idea. I guess the guy who's feasting over there really isn't phased when you're just firing bullets, and he's not gonna be too happy now. I'm just scanning this really quickly. I mean, if there's a problem this time, if I need to hit him, I don't know where to stand though. I'd have to do this really quickly. The only thing I can think of is to run out this door and pull this out really quickly and just... By that time, he could be hitting me with machine gun bullets. Well, that didn't help. Man. Well, perhaps Chapter 11 will be broken up into 20 broadcasts at this point. I mean, again, I just do this kind of raw and live. I don't really... Obviously, I mean, this is live. There's no video editing, so I mean, I'm perfectly aware I get into situations where I'm just, I can keep dying over and over again. It's just, I don't know, for me, a matter of just kind of being patient and having a level of persistence. I can't... I mean, I can make this go much worse if I start getting frustrated, because I just then start, you know, I can start blowing ammo and everything, and I mean, I could sort of hear them behind me, so I just try to not... I mean, they can grab you while they're on fire. Well, that's all of them. When you get... God, it makes me so angry! God, I'm just gonna break everything. Actually, I kind of wish there were windows. Maybe they're a little... sort of like just smashing windows in this game. Sometimes there's a good reason to do it, but other times it's just me, I don't know, enjoying the sound of broken glass. Are both of you together? Oh, that's not good. Why do I have my lantern? I thought both of them were, Again, yeah, lighting it at their feet is probably a good idea. I don't know, if I was standing right above the body, he probably just would have hit me right there. I don't... Alright, well... So, I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna put it in a different place. I don't know... And again, I've done this before. This isn't me imagining things, so... And this is a level 4, so the damage itself will do it. It's just the bomb is not going off, so I don't know where he's kind of standing off to the right here. I don't know. I don't remember putting it this far aside. I just... Maybe that is too far back. I don't know. It probably is. Oh, I don't know. And if there weren't other enemies that were going to come over the fence, it might be... This might be a little more... manageable, but... Okay, it exploded, but it didn't hit him, apparently, so... Please, go down. Now, there's enemies behind me, so this is just a matter of getting the hell out of here at this point. That's probably the first time that I just did that way, though. I've never hit him, actually, with a sniper thing before. It looked like the explosion went off, and... Again, I didn't place it in the right place. I think what I did originally was I put the explosive right near the ladder itself, and that did it. But, I don't know. And again, for anybody playing, I mean, that one sniper hit that I just did, really, I mean, I'm saying that my damage level is on level 3, so... If it were lower, that one hit probably would not have taken him down. And I didn't even know if that was going to take him down at this level. It's possible that he got some damage from the explosive itself, but he didn't directly just seem to walk over it or hit it, so... So you can see at this point, this isn't really a time for me to be running around, especially with extra traps, because I have not hit the checkpoint. Okay, so there's a guy down here. Oh wait, doesn't he fall? This whole thing collapses, I think, doesn't it? That's the one time you'll see blood spattered across the screen. Probably not the one time. And you're not dead, but... Okay, so there's a key over here, but... I'm gonna do this a little safely. I've had this key. You have to drag the statue over somewhere, and I've had it so I'm gonna hit the checkpoint before I do this, just in case I manage to lose the key. I've broken the statue before, like I've dragged it over and broken it, but I don't know if the key just went all the way underwater. I could not grab it, and I had to reload the checkpoint, and I'd rather reload it from there. So if you just go into the pipe, it hits the checkpoint. I really like this game. I have to say honestly, I enjoyed playing more on the standard difficulty on survival, for enjoying purposes. But as I try to get the trophy, I played it on this mode, AKUMU mode, and I mean the second time around, I mean I kind of have a better idea of what's going on. But I mean I had a lot of frustration playing through this the first time. But even through this playthrough, you know, there's a number of situations I'm still getting into where I'm dying a number of times. I guess part of it's also broadcasting. I mean, I'm totally just aware of that. I'm not... Okay. It's not good. Wait, there it is. Come on, pick it up. So, if the key just disappears underwater and you can't pick it up, I mean... again, I'm not here to collect. I'm not doing this playthrough collecting all of the items. It's only the keys themselves, -1. It's really just to open up all the lockers and get extra ammo and green gel. But if that key disappeared and I reloaded the autosave, it would just go back to me in the pipe here rather than having to go all the way back and do all of that all over again, what I just did. Well, this is always fun. I personally, I don't know about the... I'm surprised there's a body here. In some parts of this, from what I recall, playing on this mode, there's just no bodies to hit. And you have to kind of swim through and without distracting. Yeah, I think I can go through 2 of them. Okay, yeah, this is right. So there's a 3rd section here to swim through. Now there's no body. There is no body to hit down to distract him. On standard difficulty or what have you, there's another body over here, I believe, and so this makes it a little more challenging. Unless I can jump onto that gate over it, can I probably do that? I'm just watching the way he's swimming right now. If I can't distract him, then... We're just gonna go in a circle. Okay. Well, you know what? I guess I can jump onto this, which is good. Fine. I'm jumping over the fish. This probably wasn't... Come on. Get up on there. Get up, go, 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 go. So, have you played it on AKUMU mode before, or? So this is the part up here where, okay, well now, okay.
Sure as hell don't want to go.
Actually, under a standard playthrough, this would probably be what the first unless I'm forgetting something here. The first time you would encounter a doppelganger or a Ruvik clone. It's hard for me to think back because they've appeared a number of times during this playthrough on this mode. The first one being right in Chapter 3. You're stuck in the second chapter. Well, actually, to tell you the truth, that doesn't, I wouldn't be discouraged about this. Seriously, when you're early on like that, I mean, Chapter 2, I mean, you got, especially if you're upgrading and you got nothing upgraded, there's that checkpoint between one place and the gate, which all the checkpoints are the same in all the modes. It just feels a lot longer with all the extra enemies, how fast they are, and all the traps. And you really, all you got is your handgun. You got probably practically nothing upgraded at that point. And I don't know. I mean, I've been broadcasting since, not in one playthrough, but since the beginning. And I mean, it took me a while to stealth. I stealthed my way through the whole situation, but still, time-wise, it took me a while. Really, for me, I'm not concerned about the time. I guess it's just employing like a lot of patience. I mean, I spent Chapter 2 and 3. I used those chapters as a way of disarming every trap and stealth killing in order to prepare myself for the later chapters. Even the motion sensor bombs, which in Chapter 3 I would use the save room like all the time. You know, I can go disarm a bomb, save the game, go back, go to another one. If it blows up in my face, you know, it's kind of a... Oh, wow. See, that's the thing with no up... I mean, normally when you're in Chapter 2, you're pretty much... At that point, there's not really much you can upgrade. And because I'm playing with upgrades and collecting everything, I guess what happens is that playing on this mode, at least for me, and doing upgrades, it's some of the earlier chapters that are kind of the most difficult. I would say it peaks at about 5 and 6, and then you know, you keep upgrading and everything gets stronger, and it's just some situations with bosses aren't that much different. I mean, running away from Laura is because of the bear traps on the ground and because she's twice as fast, but the garage boss, that situation just doesn't seem to be that much different, to me. So some of the boss encounters really aren't as different. For me, it's like when a lot of the Haunted are around, and they all notice you, and you can't hide, and they're just running around you, and it becomes really erratic and crazy. I mean, because again, I mean, all you have to do is get slapped in the knee and you're dead, and so me thinking about it that way, I mean, I can have like a giant creature in front of my face who's going to swallow me, but whether it's that or a bear trap, to me they're equally as dangerous in this mode, because either way I'm going to die. How far have you gotten? I don't know why I'm just running around here blindly. It's not good. I'm gonna usually just burn all the bodies I can right around this area, because they'll get up. Normally one Ruvik clone will appear, two are going to come out here instead. This is the situation on this mode. With Ruvik clones, they appear earlier on, but and in situations where normally there would be one, now there's two. And in this situation, the only thing you have to do is kill them, and all of the other bodies will disappear, but this is a little more frustrating. Oh wow. Oh my. See, yeah, there's the second one. I don't know where the second one comes out always, so I just ran into him. Oh wow, you're on chapter 15 with no upgrades? I mean, the gauntlet section, like with all the enemies running around at one point, is probably... I mean, it's... I'm pausing this for a second. I'm sorry, I have to run out of the room for just 1 second. I'll just be back. But if you're on chapter 15 with no upgrades, yeah, I mean, that's really damn good. I mean, that's awesome, because I don't even know, quite honestly, you know, I do these broadcasts and I never say, you know, I'm a pro, and because I'm not. I don't even know if I have the confidence to try to go through it without upgrades. I guess the best way to go is maybe just start from the beginning and not upgrade and see just how far, you know, one can get. I guess for me, just doing the live broadcast was more about playing through this in a way, especially if anybody's concerned about getting the trophy, who's maybe even discouraged, that there's ways to make it a lot easier, and which would employ, you know, getting all the lockers open primarily for all the green gel and ammo, the extra ammo. There's less ammo available, and the green gel, I mean, you open the last locker, that's 100,000 right there, just flat out, and you add up everything in the locker, it adds up to about 200,000. I guess it's just a matter of making it, you know, a lot more doable and easier than it otherwise could be, because playing with no upgrades, I mean, I can imagine can be a real pain. Playing with the upgrades, I find the earlier chapters, some of them are a lot, potentially, I mean, for me, where they were very frustrating, and it seemed like over time, you know, there were certain other spikes, but I don't think it anywhere reached the point of chapter 6, where, especially in the two rooms, you know, and then even for me having to deal with the Sentinel where they put bear traps all over the place. I mean, it was just one thing after another in that chapter, and it's the fact of having to protect Joseph that's problematic, because he can't take as much damage as he normally would on standard difficulty, and so I find myself dying half the time because it's me and half the time because it's him. And it's hard to run up to him in this mode and heal him, because usually if he's losing his health, it means there's enemies attacking him, so I'm just running just right into a group of enemies at that point in order to heal him. Yeah, the keys are also good because of the ammo. So even if you're not doing upgrades, I mean, even if you, yeah, aren't doing the upgrades on this mode too, and you open up all of them and get all that green gel, you do it without the upgrades, and you can keep that for a new game plus, and then kind of, I don't know, you beat it on nightmare mode, you beat it on this mode. The best part is getting those brass knuckles, which to me are a hell of a lot more fun than having a rocket launcher. It might not seem that way. I guess it's weird. You know, you beat it on these hard difficulties, and your reward is, here's some brass knuckles. Like, but really, when you can just run around and literally, like some of the normal haunted, just one punch, and literally their heads explode. I mean, I did the Quicken the Dead trophy. That's how I went about it. I mean, I didn't do it. Some people do the Quicken the Dead trophy before they play on AKUMU mode. I did it the other way around, and maybe that wasn't the best, because my AKUMU playthrough was my second playthrough on the game, and I died about 700 times, and well, yeah, his AI is kind of off a little bit. Because of the extra traps. I mean, I can think of a particular part on Chapter 6 where when you reach the 4 cabanas, there's a tripwire in a place where it's normally not. And I've had him just run blind. He'll just run blindly over the wire and get killed. And for me, at that point, I mean, I don't feel like that's my... I mean, what did I do wrong? He just blindly darts over there, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what that is, if that's just something maybe they missed, or maybe they just left it there intentionally and thought it would be funny, I don't know. But, because normally, under normal circumstances, if he just runs over that corner, it's not a big deal. He's just running over there. But on this mode, if you're going to put a tripwire there with spikes, he runs over there and he's dead. That means you're dead. And yeah, I mean that's kind of frustrating to me because I feel like that's not. I don't know. I don't feel like that's something I did wrong at that point. And, so I try to get over there as quickly as possible when I'm near that area to disarm the trap so he won't run through it. And I'm thinking to myself, he's a detective. And he just runs blindly through a wire and kills himself. It's kind of a little, I don't know, that's kind of off to me. Yeah, he just runs through it. When I was doing this live broadcast, I went over to the tripwire to disarm it because I knew like the potential for him to just run through it, and I actually accidentally like went over the wire. But unlike Joseph, I was crouched, and because I was crouched, I guess because I didn't notice, I didn't know how the death occurred, so I guess the spikes come from above, like they swing out from above. So because I was on the ground, it missed me. But I got really lucky there. Joseph, on the other hand, just sprints right through it. It's like he literally sprints right into the spikes that come out. He hits the wire, spikes come out, and hit him directly in the face. That's what it's like to me. But yeah, I'll be back in like 1 second. I'll be right back. Oh. Okay. Can you still hear me? Oh, I hate having to do that. I have to take off the headset. I always wonder, like, whether or not I come back and it's just dysfunctional. It's not working anymore. I don't know. Hopefully this mic is working. I think it is. So you can still hear me, right? Well, I can't ever tell specifically whoever comes in and leaves, so I could be talking to someone who's not here. Oh, okay. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know, sometimes. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I had an instance where someone, this didn't have to do with the mic, but I had to, I don't know, I more or less intuitively stopped the broadcast. I mean, I did receive a message on the side, but I couldn't read it, and I didn't want to press the PS button to leave, to pause it. But it started to bother me, and I wound up stopping a broadcast at some point because, which was good, because I read a message and somebody said for some reason they couldn't view it anymore. So I don't really know what happened there, but, just made me think, like, for some reason, like, it was inaccessible to viewing, and I don't know. I guess you could tell from my voice it's probably me, you know, because of, like, you know, how I go off in a rage and start screaming and cursing, and I guess they just shut my room down. You can't even view it anymore. It's just out of control. I mean, I'm full. For anybody who thinks it's weird that I'm pulling out a harpoon bolt to kill these Ruvik clones. It is at level 5, and that's why you'll see fire here. That's not some, I guess, you know, that's not me fudging up anything. That's what happens at level 5. It's pretty much, anything can pretty much go down in one hit. I mean, not bosses, but I mean a lot, even the alter egos. The damage from the harpoon won't kill them, but what am I doing? Isn't there one behind me? Yes, there is. That's one, and I'm... Okay, where is... I'm not... I don't want to get killed right now, and I can't tell where the other guy is. Fine. I feel like I'm going to run directly into him. I can't see him anywhere. There you are. That should take care of everybody. Now again, if you're playing on... It's going good, I suppose, except for the first section.
Fake?
Something I normally do didn't work, so... I got kind of lucky. I mean, hitting the guy with the machine gun with a sniper rifle, but normally I could plant an explosive up there. I think I planted in the wrong place and get rid of the guy with the machine gun up on the top. If you know what I'm talking about in that section. I was about to say, yeah, and this, yeah, there's 2 Ruvik clones here instead of 1. And normal difficulty, there would be only 1. And I just used the harp. I mean, I put that at level 5 for the one reason is for the Ruvik clones. I mean, I imagine you could hit them with a freeze bolt, I think, but the thing is missing too. If I miss, I don't know. A freeze bolt's 5 trap parts. Plus, if you're too close to an enemy and you hit somebody with these, I use this in the next section actually, the freeze bolts. But if somebody's too close to you and you hit them with a freeze bolt on this mode, I mean, I don't know, you wind up dying, and The harpoon bolts at level 5 are also useful when I was just, you know, in chapter 10 earlier today. I mean, when Laura's chasing you and you hit her with a harpoon bolt with fire on it, it causes the same effect as if you know, lit her on fire with a match from a body underneath, or got her under a fire trap. It just, she lights on fire and starts screaming. It gives you time to kind of, you know, run around, hit levers, do whatever you have to do. The alter egos are incredibly strong. Normally I just run past them when I can, but it's really crazy. To get to level 4 to level 5 on the harpoon bolts costs 50,000 green gel. And the damage does not increase. It stays at 240%, but I believe, but it adds the fire to it. So I hit an alter ego, unless I hit him in the head. I mean, if I hit him in the body, he could still be alive. But he's going to light on fire at the same time, so he's eventually just going to die. I don't know, I believe, like, from what I was saying before on the standard difficulty, there's, this would be the first encounter, I think, with a Ruvik clone or a doppelganger, whichever, I guess, you prefer to call them. And on this mode, it's chapter 3. So they appear early on, and then in places like this, where there would be one, there's 2. In chapter 3, there's 2, or 13, there's 2 in the hallway. In chapter 14, there's, I think, 2 in the bus part. Yeah, I gotta remind myself of that, so. Magnum bullets are always good to know where they are, because those, in any mode you play, are gonna be rare. It's another good reason to open the lockers. You wind up getting to a point, you open 2 lockers with Magnum ammo in it, and I think that's, I don't know, I'm trying to look around. I feel like I'm missing something. Okay. I don't know, the next section of this is probably one of the most challenging. I remember on my first playthrough this was kind of rough, and I died a number of times. Well, I guess I did miss something. No. I don't know, it doesn't seem like what, there's no green gel anywhere? No bodies dropped, anything. Wait a minute, that's not right. I hit Ruvik clones down, unless I picked it up before and I'm not even paying attention. Ruvik clones usually drop a decent amount. Oh well, you know what? That's great. Syringe. Comes the mirror. Gonna go back and see Tatiana, because really that's the only place I feel comfortable in this game.
You gotta be kidding.
Oh, come on, Sebastian, no complaining. This is like the best place to be. This place is filthy. I can't imagine saying that to myself. After running through the nightmare, like, of everything so far, just waking up and being like, oh my god, this is filthy. I gotta clean this place up. I don't think that would really be a concern to me, but,
Detective,
Are you alright?
you do realize there would be no one to replace me.
Thank you for making it more stressful for me, saying that. There's Not a lot of characters I can trust in this game, but at least even playing on this mode, no, you won't have a point where you come in here and Tatiana just suddenly gets up and starts turning and just starts firing bullets at you. I mean, that would be terrible. This is really the only safe haven. Yeah, I guess they make a point like of how much green gel. With the exception maybe of one locker, I'm not sure. Every closed locker here that I've opened is a jar of green gel. So... oh, I got... oh, that's useless. Syringes. Rifle ammo. Shotgun ammo. Let's see. 15,000. The minimum amount in a jar is 5,000. Last locker, 100,000. Man, I kind of want... well, I guess I don't need shock bolts. I only have 2 in here. The next section's a bit chaotic. You do have some level of control over it, though, unlike being trapped in the 2 rooms in Chapter 6. But, it's sort of just a lot to deal with in one. I mean, you have enemies coming out with machine guns, some of them with crossbows, and, you know... now, I'm going to deal with the sniper in a way that somebody... I don't want to mention... names. I don't like to, I guess, do that on a live broadcast thinking about it, because it's not like I have explicit permission. Somebody gave a tip on how to deal with the sniper to get him to come out early, and so I'm gonna try that. Wait, don't I have 2 lockers with this? That one is up. I mean, you could tell how much I use freeze bolts. Like, there's 3 lockers with freeze. Man. Really, I'm just stopped here because I'm thinking of the next situation, what I'm going to use or not use. I mean, I don't really like to take much from here. Why did I do that? I kind of wish, again, this is one of those instances, and I always bring this up, where I can just take as many as I wanted to. Like, I only want to take one of those, but the least amount I can take is if I switch off the explosive bolt, it'll take 2 of them. And oh, man. Alright. I'll save before I upgrade it. Leave the beginning of chapter 11. So I mean, 50,000. So I upgrade the Magnum. I don't know if I'm going to do that this second. I should start doing it because I want it to level 4 and everything by... Chapter 13 would be nice, but I don't know, and there's this situation right here, which... It is a lot of green gel, but this Magnum, it's just, I mean, if you're upgrading, Chapter 14 boss can be a pain. I imagine particularly on this mode, if the moment you let him get up into the vents, if you have this gun at level 4, for the fire rate, for the damage, and for the clip, you could pretty much shock the level 14 boss and just keep firing the Magnum. It takes about 7 bullets and he'll be dead. He'll never get up into the vent. And the 2 keepers at the end of Chapter 50 before the final boss fight can be taken down in about, you know, 10, 12 seconds with the Magnum. Damage probably costs the most, but... Well, maybe I should think about something else too here. The fire rate on this is pretty bad. Okay, wait. Now, obviously, upgrading the freeze bolt doesn't do anything in terms of damage, doesn't do anything in terms of time-wise, how long something is frozen. The way that the next situation, though, I try to... I don't make use of the freeze bolt a lot, but in this situation I do for when they come out of the elevator. I try to, if 3 come out, try to get 2 of them, at least with a freeze bolt. I don't know, this thing's stuck. Oh, that would have been nice. I'm off by 450. I don't know. I'm just gonna go with this. And again, you know, I am thinking to myself, too, about, you know, people who've played this with no upgrades and have beaten it, and again, that's awesome, because I don't even know if, I mean, I might try to play without upgrades, without upgrading, but, sometimes it's a matter of me thinking of, like, a few circumstances. I guess if in my head, I could think of a more tactical way to approach them, or I just knew how to get by in a better way, it might be easier. I'm just thinking of myself ending up in certain situations without upgrades where I don't really know what I'd do. I'd probably die like 100 times or more. Could even be just because of one haunted, just you causing a problem for me, and I don't know what to do. I'm not using... Oh wait, I'm just seeing how many... Actually, that worked out perfect. I'm glad I raised the stock. After you get over the elevator, you can jump over a ledge and there should be 3 Magnum bullets. And again, these are very rare, whatever mode you play, so I'm taking them all. Well, that's a pretty good point to be at with no upgrades, definitely, because I don't know, for me, the second checkpoint on the gauntlet on Chapter 15 is probably, for me, the hardest one. I kind of stay up in the upper right corner, especially because, like, when he pulls out the rocket launcher, you're kind of safe in that area, and he won't hit you, as long as you don't run too far. You know, I don't know what direction to say, but, I guess you gather what I mean if you're in the situation. Actually, I'll probably use when he drops the rocket launcher. I can imagine I'm gonna pull out the Magnum and hit him like once or twice, especially if my damage is up. I'll have enough bullets to take out the keepers. DPS. So ammo capacity and I'm not sure what. Well, I guess I'll just leave here. I mean, if you get past that second part, though, I don't know, for me, that seems to be like the second checkpoint area with the rocket launcher guy seems to be the most frustrating one. I don't know. Or the most... I don't like using that. That sounds discouraging. Seems to be the most challenging one. See, I don't have incendiary bolts. I don't have any of the downloadable content. I just never did it. I have a code somewhere to get it. I figured... I don't know, maybe at some point I'll get it. Isn't there a lot of trap parts even to make an incendiary? Incendiary bolt. I thought someone said it cost like 5 trap parts or something. I mean, is it that much different from me having, for instance, my harpoon bolt's at level 5 right now and causes fire damage, so... And this is only 2 trap parts. Although, yeah, I mean, okay, it does cost a lot to get it to this point, but... I don't know if... Oh, damage per... Yeah, see, this is I'm thinking about this now again with no upgrades. I mean, being in that scenario too, like, because there's a lot of enemies around. And just not even the damage, but the fire rate of the weapons, like how slowly... I mean, I could be shooting someone with a shotgun. Right now, I have the fire rate of my rifle up to, like, think level 4. Which makes it pretty quick, but, this situation is just not good. This was, for me, like, on this chapter, probably the most challenging part. I mean, I believe there's more enemies. That's usually the general rule on this mode, but, the sniper caused me a lot of problems, so I'm gonna try this, whatever, trick, to see if he, see if this works. Somebody, I'd like to say the name, because I would like to attribute, you know, the tip to the person, especially if it works, because this isn't my idea. There is a trick though, without if you know, even if this works or doesn't, there is a trick that I've used, because you have some control over the situation a little bit, as far as when the door opens. You usually have to hit a certain place. Let me get this music going. So this is where it starts for me, and I could see how it could be for some people a little, even for myself, a little off-putting. Because this is a horror survival game. I could see, like, it starts feeling like, at this point, like a little bit of a action combat game. But, you get masked haunted with the machine guns coming out and everything. It's kind of... And then you hit chapter 13, and it all of a sudden gets back into that horror, like, especially stealth appeal. So, I guess it's a good, you know, mix-up. So, well, I'm gonna take out... There's a guy over here, I believe. So, I want him to kind of chase me down here. Again, standing at his feet, if I was over his body, he just would have just killed me right there. But, see, there's all these people up there. None of them really come down until you step in certain areas. I believe the third time... I'm gonna try the sniper trick, but... One thing that... I have to step on the platform for the door to open the first time. The second time, I just have to move, like, over to here. And if you move over here and then run back, the door will close before anybody comes out. I think it's about the third time that you do that. The third time the door opens, the sniper comes out normally. And it really is a pain if the sniper starts firing and 3 people or 2 or whoever comes out, even if one enemy only comes out the door, it's a pain because you have standing up and firing a weapon at that point is bad. So you can kind of isolate the sniper if you don't get him in the beginning by just running past the door and running backwards and get the sniper to come out with nobody else around. But apparently, now I'm going to try this. Where is he usually? There he is right there. Now, one time I tried to throw an explosive bolt over there and it didn't seem to work. I don't know if even it disappeared at some point or it just didn't do anything when he came out, or I don't know. But apparently, the person who gave me this tip said you can do this in the beginning, which would be great, is to fire a stun bolt up there, which I imagine like he'll stand up and then I can snipe him. I guess that's the idea. So